Have you ever watched the person you love most in the world become a complete stranger right before your eyes? For me, it happened on a Tuesday. The city lights of Chicago bled through our bedroom window, painting streaks across the hardwood floor. My wife, Sarah, was scrolling through her phone, the screen's cold blue light illuminating a smile that wasn't for me. I asked to see her photo gallery. A simple, innocent request. Her body went rigid. The phone didn't just slip. It fell from her hand and clattered onto the floor like a gunshot in the silent room. That was the moment I knew my life was a lie. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. The humiliation was a physical thing, a hot sickness that started in my gut and spread through my veins. We'd been the golden couple, the ones our friends envied. Now, I was just the fool who paid the bills. Her behavior had been off for months, a slow drift into a sea of secrets. Late nights she blamed on work. Hushed phone calls she'd take on the balcony overlooking the bustling streets of the Loop. Her back turned to me. The scent of a cologne I didn't own clinging to her clothes. I started looking. A crumpled receipt from the Drake Hotel on Walton Street, dated for an afternoon she was supposedly at a conference. Text messages that were a little too friendly, a little too familiar, from a Mark from accounting. The name felt like a punch. When I gently probed, she'd turn cold, her words like shards of glass. "Why are you so insecure all of a sudden?" she'd ask. Her eyes narrowed, making me feel like the one in the wrong. She was a master manipulator, twisting my concern into paranoia. Her and Mark, they felt untouchable, laughing in their own private world while I was on the outside looking in. I saw him once, picking her up in a sleek black Audi, his arm resting possessively on her shoulder. He had that smug, self-satisfied look of a man who thinks he's won a prize. The breaking point came one rainy Thursday. I found a reservation confirmation for a weekend trip to a boutique hotel in Miami's South Beach. My name wasn't on it. I sat in my car for hours, parked across from our condo, the rain blurring the city into a watercolor of misery. That was the night the loyal husband died, and a strategist was born. My grief turned into a cold, hard diamond of resolve. The first step was hiring the best divorce attorney in Chicago, a shark named Mr. Harrison. I explained everything, my voice hollow. His advice was simple. Don't let her know you know. We gather evidence. We build a cage. So I did. I became a ghost in my own home, documenting everything. I installed a keylogger on the home computer. I hired a private investigator who followed them, capturing photos of them holding hands, kissing outside a restaurant on Rush Street, entering the hotel. Each photo was a nail in her coffin. I opened a new bank account and quietly started moving my assets. I contacted her boss, an old family friend of hers, under the guise of planning a surprise party, and learned about the company's strict morality clause. Adultery, especially with a colleague, was grounds for immediate termination. The trap was set. The occasion was our anniversary dinner, a lavish affair at a Michelin star restaurant she'd always wanted to go to. Her whole family was there. My family, our closest friends. She was radiant, arrogant, playing the part of the adored wife. In the middle of the main course, I stood up, clinking my glass for a toast. I spoke of love, of trust, and then, my voice dropping to ice, of betrayal. I had the PI's report in a manila envelope. I didn't shout. I simply slid it across the table to her father. The photos, the hotel bills, the chat logs printed in stark black and white. The silence was absolute. Her mother gasped, her father's face, a mask of fury. Sarah's face crumbled, the color draining from it, her perfect world shattering in a public spectacle of her own making. The next day, the legal papers were served. The morality clause was invoked at her job. Both she and Mark were fired. Her family disowned her. The friends who had once admired her now looked at her with contempt. She was ruined, socially and professionally, left with nothing but the consequences of her choices. I never saw her again after the final court date. Sometimes, late at night, I walk through the empty rooms of our old condo, the city lights still painting the floors. Silence is heavy, a constant reminder of the life I destroyed to save myself. I won, but it feels like I lost everything. The end.